Let's start today's news. ISRO's 100th mission was successful. This is a milestone in ISRO's history. When ISRO was formed, everybody criticized that India don't have food to eat, why India is encouraging space science and rocket science. Now, within a short time, ISRO have achieved laurels and it's a tremendous success. Today morning at 6:23 a.m. from Sriharikota, GSLV F-15 rocket was launched carrying NVS-02 navigation satellite. And NVS-02 navigation satellite is a next generation navigation satellite, and this is a second next generation navigation satellite. India have a NAVIC system, navigation with Indian constellation. It's an independent regional navigation system developed by ISRO. NAVIC, our independent navigation constellation system, India's navigation constellation system aims to provide precise positioning, velocity and timing services across India and beyond Indian borders up to 1500 kilometers. The present satellite which was launched, the lifetime of the satellite is 10 years, and NVS-02 satellite weighs approximately 2250 kgs, and it is deployed into the geosynchronous transfer orbit. This is very important, geosynchronous transfer orbit. This particular mission, NVS-02, which was carried by the rocket GSLV F-15, aims to strengthen India's satellite navigation system, which ISRO has been building, improving over time. The mission is called GSLV F-15. This is the 17th flight of GSLV, and the mission is NVS-02 mission, and it will carry the IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System 1K satellite, which is also called as NVS-02 mission. This satellite is a part of India's navigation satellite network. And I can tell you, safely I can tell you, NAVIC, NAVAC, Navigation with Indian Constellation, is a regional satellite navigation system developed by ISRO. It is designed to provide accurate information, accurate position information over India and the surrounding regions. Coming back, the navigation payloads have different frequency bands, L1, L5 and S bands. L1 band, the frequency is used for civilian navigation. L5, it is used for military navigation and secure navigation. And S band is for high speed communication and tracking and high speed signal transmission. Coming back, what is the utility of this NVS-02 mission? Accurate military operations and strategic positions, navigation across land, air and sea, precision farming and agriculture activities, land mapping and geodetic surveys, quick response during disasters and emergencies, efficient fleet management and mobile location based services, accurate satellite orbit tracking, guidance for marine fisheries, etc. And finally, we can say there are currently 4 global navigation systems: GPS for America, GLONASS for Russia, Galileo for European Union, and WIDO for China. India's NAVIC and Japan's QZSS are regional systems for now, but could become global in future. And today, January 29th, is historic for ISRO and for all Indians, as we have launched our 100th space mission, and ISRO, the new chief of ISRO's first mission, Mr. Narayanan's first mission. He was very happy. He personally actually persuaded, personally observed everything. He was present there, and this is the greatest success to ISRO. I think Prime Minister, because the success, it was successfully launched and it was successfully sent, and I think within few hours, within hour or two, Prime Minister will also congratulate India for ISRO's achievement. This is a tremendous success for ISRO. So coming to the next story coming up, there is a fisherman issue between India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan Navy fights at Indian boat. 2 fishermen injured. In fact, India-Sri Lanka fisherman issue is not new. Generally, Indian fishermen, they will just for fishing, they aim at fishing and they will sometimes go into the Sri Lankan waters and they'll be arrested, and sometimes there will be a firing also. So India always whines or complains about this. 2 of the 13 fishermen arrested by Sri Lankan Navy yesterday, they sustained injuries when the Sri Lankan Navy opened fire after the fishermen tried to evade the arrest. The Sri Lankan Navy arrested 13 fishermen after they allegedly crossed the international maritime boundary and were fishing in the territorial waters of the island nation. The mechanized vessel the fishermen had used was also allegedly seized by Sri Lankan Navy. So, Sri Lanka always complains that Indian fishermen crosses the boundary and they will enter into Sri Lankan waters. Whereas our fishermen with only genuine intention only for fishing, sometimes they will cross that in spite of warning. So, the only thing that drives them is they'll get deep sea fishing properly. So, for that reason they'll go, but often India and Sri Lanka face this fishermen issue and Indian fishermen were arrested by Sri Lankan Navy. This is a trend that is going on. And next interesting and important news that is coming up. We all know ChatGPT and OpenAI. ChatGPT is a model of generative artificial intelligence where if you give a command or a prompt, you will get the entire essay or anything. For example, if you ask what is DeepSeek, you will get an answer in ChatGPT. Whatever you want, within milliseconds you will get the answer. So parallelly for ChatGPT, there's a new generative AI model coming up from China, Chinese startup DeepSeek. So DeepSeek is comparatively less cost. They have developed the technology, the generative AI, with $6 million. Whereas if you go for ChatGPT, they have invested billions of dollars. And DeepSeek technology, they have not used so much of NVIDIA's semiconductor chips because NVIDIA's are very, very costly and semiconductor chips, they stopped sending it to China. So DeepSeek, what all chips that are available from NVIDIA, they have used, and remaining are substandard chips. And with only 300-400 employees, they have completed the task. And now, in most of the US, UK based Play stores and app stores, this DeepSeek generative AI is now trending beyond ChatGPT. Now, Silicon Valley in America is worrying about this. How come these people could generate in 2 years? DeepSeek Technologies is a private startup in China. It started its operations 2 years back and have achieved tremendous success. Now, a parallel to ChatGPT, a parallel to generative AI has been developed in China. So, generative AI or AI war started between America and China. This is a theory that is coming up now. Let's wait and watch how long it will take for another generative AI, very good concept will creep into the system. Coming back, yesterday Donald Trump have given a statement. I don't spare any country including India if they don't reduce their tariffs. Even America will actually impose more tariffs on them. And in this perspective, Narendra Modi ji is likely to visit America to deepen the ties, says Donald Trump. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to visit Washington in February 2025. American President Donald Trump has said. It's not from Indian mouth or Indian representative, it is from American Donald Trump. In an announcement that came hours after Mr. Trump and Modi spoke over phone on Monday, the White House called for a fair bilateral trading relationship and indicated that India would host the leaders of the Quad in the coming months. The two leaders discussed expanding and deepening cooperation. They also discussed a range of regional issues, including Middle East issues also. And now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to visit America. This is the news that is trending now. If you see today's important news again coming up, all you red turtles, they'll come to Rushikulya, Gahirmata and Devi beaches in Orissa. All you red turtles, now it's a time for them, they are coming. Rushikulya's river mouth is one of the major rookeries in the country where millions of female olive red turtles come for mass nesting. The other sites in Orissa where mass nesting of olive red turtles take place is Gahirmata and Devi river mouths. It's very important. A good number of pairs of olive red turtles in mating conditions are visible in Bay of Bengal waters near the river mouths due to the favorable climatic conditions so far. If this climate prevails for some more days, more number of olive ridley turtles can lay eggs this time. So, in fact, Orissa have a special program to protect the olive ridley eggs also. So, they will actually properly protect the eggs. Sometimes they will bring a bucket and they will put the hatched egg inside the bucket and they release the egg after some days so that the eggs will be protected. So, Orissa government is taking much care to protect the olive ridley turtles and the eggs of olive ridley turtles. Coming back, UN peacekeeping chief says thank you to India. And why he said thanks to India? UN Under Secretary General for Peace Operations, Jean-Pierre Lacroix, has expressed his gratitude to India and other nations for supporting UN mission in Democratic Republic of Congo following the deaths of 3 peacekeepers last week. All the 1,114 troops and 160 police personnel deployed in the region were safe. After 2 South African and 1 Uruguayan peacekeeper was killed. So, in the UN peacekeeping mission, many Indians are working in many places. India is one of the largest troop contributors to UNPKF, United Nations peacekeeping mission. In spite of many mortalities also, fatalities also, India is still sending our troops to respect and protect peace across the world to work in UNPKF. So recently, UNPKF chief have said thank you to India and other countries as they are supporting UN peacekeeping missions in Congo. This is a thing that's coming up between India and UNPKF. That's also very important. Coming back, if you see Guillain-Barré syndrome. When 2 days back we have discussed this news, people asked me why for one case you are discussing this. But today the cases went more than 100 in Maharashtra. Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's an autoimmune disorder where our own immune system attacks our nervous system. So this is a thing, and if you get affected by this syndrome, you'll get diarrhea, nausea, fever, vomiting, muscle weakness, etc. Very rarely it may cause paralysis, or sometimes extreme cases it may cause death also. So there is no cure for Guillain-Barré syndrome. There is no cure for Guillain-Barré syndrome. The Guillain-Barré, the names are taken from the scientists who have actually discovered this syndrome, Guillain and Barré. Okay, so this question is very important for this year prelims. Coming back, the next interesting thing that is coming up is ESSA report. ESSA report is in news. Lot of data is coming up from ESSA report. What is this ESSA report all about? Annual Status of Education Report 2024 was released. There is a foundation called Pradham Foundation. The Pradham Foundation releases a report called ESSER. ESSER means Annual Status of Education. The closure of schools during the COVID-19 pandemic significantly impacted the ability of rural school children to divide 3-digit numbers and read paragraphs in their regional language. So, the COVID pandemic affected children's mathematical abilities and reading abilities. This is the main sentence, this is the main observation from the ESSER report. The latest data for 2024 published by ESSER Annual Status of Education Report Rural broadly indicates that rural school children have largely recovered from learning loss experienced during pandemic. However, the recovery appears very uneven. The ESSER report was conducted across, the survey was conducted across 605 districts among the children aged between 5 to 16. Older children aged 14 to 16 were asked questions about their digital access and usage. So, there is a lot of data with respect to Annual Status on Education report released by Pradham Foundation. This report is very, very important. Coming back, America first. Donald Trump threatens tariffs on China and India. America first. Donald Trump threatens tariffs on China and India. The US will impose tariffs on countries that harm America. President Donald Trump announced, naming China, India, and Brazil as examples of high tariff nations. Speaking to the House of Republicans at a retreat in Florida, Trump said, "We are going to put tariffs on outside countries and outside people that really harming the American business." Okay. Even Trump said, "I'm not going to spare any country if it comes to American trade or American business." Highlighting his trade vision, Trump declared that US would prioritize domestic prosperity over foreign benefits. US would prioritize domestic prosperity over foreign benefits. So Donald Trump is now will never spare with respect to two things, according to our External Affairs Minister Jaishankar. One is illegal immigrants, second is tariffs. So in these two respects, these two things are non-negotiable with Donald Trump. So we can expect some unexpected things from Trump.